Quick disclaimer, these are my personal opinions regarding the FFX of a Heavyweight Savage tier. I've been playing this game since the end of Stormblood, which means I have thousands of hours rating in this game at this point, so of course my opinions will be skewed. This isn't meant to be an attack, I'm simply going to look at the mechanics and compare them to previous floors. Specifically, I chose the Anabaseios tier because it was also the final tier of the Pandemonium raid series. I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, welcome back to the comparisons. We have third floors here. M11S versus P11S. Tyrant versus Themis. And I'm just going to be honest, going into this one, I'm probably going to bash on this fight a lot because I think it is really terrible. Generally, though, the third floors are worse than the second floors, in my opinion, because they do a lot of... the devs sort of use the second floors as their try things floor. Okay, I just want to touch on this. This is literally just a normal mode mechanic where he pulled out the weapon. He does that in normal mode, and it's a Buster share plus spread. It is literally a normal mode mechanic. I believe the difference in this fight is we'll see it later. He pulls out Scythe in this one, and then it's like a party stack with tank spread or something. Okay, so we theorized this in normal mode that these would be light parties, literally this exact thing. This one would be spread. We didn't know what the last one would be. It would be like, we thought it would be pairs or... yeah, we just thought it would be pairs because stack seems weird, but sure, stack. So yeah, he's still basically just doing normal mode as far as I'm concerned, but this is sort of the theme with third turns is like, they just spam these kinds of mechs, right? Like everyone knows this. But then he does this, Void Stardust, which is some baits into a stack or spread. This time it was spread. And then he does the weapons right after. So it's a stack because he's looking at the axe. Or sorry, it's a spread because he's looking at the scythe. So like, sure, he does it like a little bit faster, I suppose. But up to this point, we've pretty much theorized the fight completely. Which is like, yeah, we're not geniuses. I'm sure many people did. But we're already 2 minutes in here, and what has he done? He did light parties, stack, and spread Protean. And then he does this thing, which is also a normal mode mechanic, but oh, you have to do pairs this time. I mean, again, we theorized this would be pairs, so we were already prepared for this. Once we're 3 minutes in, I'll go look at the other one, because I am curious about this one, but I think Themis probably wins here. Ah, there was the other variation, by the way. He pulled out a scythe, so it was party stack plus tank spread. Okay, yeah, so we're 3 minutes in here, and we'll pause before the next big mechanic. Let's see what Themis does in 3 minutes. I know it is mostly the same. Here's the raid wide. The Buster, actually at this point, Tyrant's done more, because at least he did like a Buster plus that the party has to spread. But, I mean, we see two variations of this mechanic. So you have a Jury Overruling here, and it's dark, which means it's spread, and then, what is it, a Dynamo around us, plus we do pairs. So that, yeah, I don't know, that mechanic is not terrible. It's like you have to process a lot of things in a short amount of time. And then he does Upheld, which is, what, we have to do a party stack and then get out and do light parties? Yeah, because he's light. The dark version is... he might do the other variation here. So it's this one. This one's the dive, divisive. And then we stay out and do light parties again. So he has a couple variations. So he has an additional variation of mechanic, right? Because Tyrant can only summon the weapon or, like, pick up the weapon. But this guy has 3 variations. He has the dive, the stack, and the Protean. So now we see the next mechanic. How far in are we? We are 2 minutes in. We're exactly 2 minutes in. And he's done something different again. He showed the color, which means we have to get over here, and then we go in and do pairs, because he was dark. Otherwise, it would have been stay out and do light parties. Ooh, yeah, it's not looking good for Tyrant right now, guys. I'm going to be honest. But no, he's kind of just autoing for a while. I don't know, man. It's close. Oh, man, yeah, then he does clones. I'm just going to keep watching here and then go back to Tyrant. So he does this clone mechanic where we did it relative to clones. We looked here, and then we had the tank points. I guess we just let the tank stay here. So we go into the dark, and then what? He's also doing a dark dive, so we have to go into his dive and then do our pairs. And then there's also clones with these tethers. So it's a party stack plus the tank buster, and then we have to go under the tank buster. And then he goes immediately into jury overruling. We did it true north. He's light, so it is bait, then move into our light parties. We have to move into our light parties because of the afterburners. Ooh. Yeah. And this is 3.5 minutes in. Okay. I'm going to watch one more mechanic here, and then we're going to go back to the other guy, because I know it's next in Tyrant. This is just the rotating thing, right? Yeah, so these rotate, and then what? He does like a dive. So you have to dodge these. And then do his dive relative, or do whatever you want, whatever. It's light, so it's light parties. Yeah, okay. I'll watch a couple more minutes here of this guy. Okay, we're just doing this again. I think I'll stop. Yeah, so it's the tank buster, and then we go in and do pairs. Remember, the other variation was we had a party stack, and then we go out and do light parties. How far in am I? I'm 5 minutes in. And then, okay, I'm going to stop here and check out what this guy did. Because I think this is just the 6 weapons thing, and I don't remember what's after that. Maybe the orbital thing. Yeah, so 6 weapons, which is, I mean, he's basically just doing the same mechanic. Because it is exactly the same. So we have stack, and then stack again. And then we're going to do spread. Excuse me. And it's light parties, and then we have these tornadoes that we have to resolve. Okay, guys, go bait your tornadoes. Boom. Let me just have a raid wide. It's flashy at least. That was cool, I guess. Okay, it's a buster. Oh man, yeah, we're already coming to the 5-minute mark. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar formula. Again, like, this is not surprising. We have this orbital thing where the tank has to face it, and then we do a dodge. So his sides are safe, and then we dodge into this intersection. It's basically the same as the other mech. Yeah, I mean, this mech is better than the orbiting lasers into a relative, like, dive thing. This mech is better, like, I'll give it to him. And then we have this mechanic. Oh, I mean, is this mechanic good? It's not even good, right? Like, it's just... I mean, you take turns baiting the proximities. And then you do a stack. Like, is this mechanic even good? It's not even good, right? Like, it's just not even good. It's like, okay, I guess, but like, this is a third turn, you know? Okay, let's see what Themis did. I think I remember vaguely what Themis did, but... Yeah, so we have dark and light here, which splits us into these light party-esque things. And then he shows that the light orbs are safe, I believe. Right? And so the light orbs are safe, and then we have to do the mechanic that he shows while abiding by these tether rules. So he's dark, so we have dynamos, and then we do a pair. I'm assuming these guys rotate clockwise. Yep. These guys just walk in, because they're close tethers. But they had to bait along the wall, otherwise their proteins would be too close. And then with divisive overruling, again, we rotate clockwise. He does the dash, and then we do our pairs. We're forced into these pairs. It could have been light parties as well. It could have been the light dive. Yeah, no, I mean, guys, like, I don't have to tell you that this mechanic is better, surely, right? There's so much more going on in this mechanic. Call it personal bias, call it whatever you want, but, like, I think this is just objectively a much better mechanic, surely. But I think the end of Tyrant is probably better than this fight, almost certainly. So I'm going to watch the next Themis mechanic, and then I'm going to go back to Tyrant and watch Majestic Meteors. It's pretty slow here. I mean, I gotta admit, it's pretty slow here. He took a long time to do anything here. Ah, right, he does this one thing. It's kind of weird. He just randomly does this thing. We just spread with rotating AoEs. Just, I mean, it is weird. I'll admit that. Yeah, I mean, this is a nothing mechanic. Now that I think about it, I think Themis only has one last mechanic. I mean, we're pretty deep into the fight now. 10:33, this is... I mean, he's doing the same mechanic again. We're 7 minutes in, I'll watch another minute. Okay, he's just doing this mechanic again. I don't think the other guy does this again, actually. I don't think Tyrant does his weapons again, right? So they reordered the mechanics, and they just really backloaded Tyrant. Okay. So this is 8 minutes in. So let's watch the 8 minutes in here. I know Majestic Meteors is next. I mean, I have to be honest, I think this is like one of the worst mechanics ever. And I'll explain why in a second. Okay, so we have this mechanic come out. I don't actually know how these chose who they pick. Or who they tether to. I think it's just 2 random DPS and 2 random supports, probably. We just kept our pairs the same all the time, so you just followed your tether guy, basically. So the 4 non-tethered have to bait this proximity thing, and then we do baits. And this is why this mechanic is so terrible. So, just try to explain to me what we are supposed to use for logic here. There is just no logic. You're just like vibe spreading. There's no like block for your partner. There's no the pattern of the lines make it so much more difficult sometimes. It's just a vibes mechanic. It's just a vibes spread. Like, I don't even understand what they were going for. It feels like an incomplete mechanic. Again, they bait, we do the same thing. We had the exact same pattern on this side, actually. Jesus. I mean, we just had the good pattern here, didn't we? I think it was the same pattern in... Was it actually the same pattern in both times? It was, right? Oh my god, it was. What? I mean, we just got lucky. We just literally had the same pattern twice? What? Like, why is that even possible? So strange. No, it's just so strange. We just had the same pattern twice, but the roles were flipped. But this is the easier pattern. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just heavily biased against this mechanic, but I just think it is so terribly designed. I mean, this is just a nothing burger, this part. It's just to show off what he can do from normal, which is like fine, but I just hate how that mechanic is designed. I just hate it. Vibes spread, and sometimes the pattern is super hard. So now we're 8 minutes in again. I mean, obviously I think the light and dark mechanic in Themis is better than that mechanic. This mechanic also just drags on longer, so he didn't have to repeat his weapons. This mechanic is better, but Themis also repeats this his version, like the spinning orbs plus the dive. Yeah. Okay, so this next and last mechanic is sort of, you can compare it directly to Themis' last mechanic, I suppose. I don't mind this mechanic for sure. Ecliptic Stampede is fine in my book. But there is one caveat to this. So 2 of the 4 furthest get praise. They have to bait. I think it's 6 puddles or something. And then the rest do this Panther Crater style movement. Or rather, that's just what we decided to do. It is like extremely similar to Panther Crater. And we have these Enum Towers, but it's not like really Enum Towers. I mean, it is. Like, we just did, we just had a prio where we went northwest counter for the DPS, ranged prio those ones, and the melee flex. And the healers did opposite. I don't know how these tethers are baited. It's just like random. We just, you know, spread them into the corner, made the middle safe for these guys, and then we have this 4-way fireball, which means we are supposed to resolve this by blocking for these guys in the corner because they have a fire vuln, but we just spread it and mitigated. How much MIT do we have here? I'm guessing we have deploy, neutral soil, experienced collective. That's like quite a bit of MIT, but yeah, apparently this is supposed to be a paramechanic or something, and we just did not do that. Which is like a big problem I have with the fight, is like it's so unpunishing except for Majestic Meteors, but Majestic Meteors, again, has like one of the worst designs of a mechanic I've ever seen. And then that's the end of the fight here. He just does these J-ways and that's it. So what is Themis' mechanic again? Let's recall. And I guess I can already like tell you, Tyrant is a much harder fight because Majestic Meteors is the way it is. So Letter of the Law is the equivalent to Ecliptic Stampede. Twofold Revelation. I don't remember what this cast does. He showed light, so dark is safe. And then we have a tank tether plus a party tether. We have to go to dark because dark is safe. We have to look at the mirrors plus the orbs. And then we do this. We resolve these tethers. Go under the tank tether. And then we have our Enum tower. We did it relative to the dive. And then these dives go off. We have to go in the dark dive, of course. And then what? He's doing his mechanic again. Knock back into light parties. And that's the mechanic. I don't know. I mean, they're pretty equivalent, I think. They're pretty equivalent, I suppose. But the towers were a lot more punishing in this mechanic. But it's easier to get to the tower, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty equivalent. Like, it's fast-paced in this one. And then he does this rotating mechanic again, but Tyrant just did it earlier. He doesn't do anything else. I think he just does another, like, of his variation mechanic, spread, Protean, or whatever. So, I mean, let's be honest. The basic mechanics, I'm giving it to Themis. His basic mechanics, like the way he executes his Protean pairs, whatever mechanics, is better than Tyrant. But actually, there is no but. Orbital is a better mechanic than this guy's Light Stream mechanic. Dark and Light is better than any mechanic in Tyrant. Their last mechanics are pretty equivalent. I just hate Tyrant's design. But maybe it's just because he doesn't do a big mechanic for so long. And that's just sort of like the way they flip their designs. Like he does not repeat his pairs mechanic. Like, he just spams it in the beginning and then never does it again. Whereas this guy will, like, he'll do that, then do a big mechanic, and then do his pairs mechanic again, and then do a big mechanic, etc. I don't know which is better. Maybe it's just because this philosophy feels better, this design philosophy of staggering the mechs feels better. I'm sure some people disagree, though. Like, I'm sure the ramping up in Tyrant feels better to them. And I also think that maybe if Majestic Meteors was just a better mechanic, that fight might just be better. I think that's probably the case, right? I think that's the case. So they're like actually closer than I thought, but I do think Themis is a better fight. Like, his mechanics are more flushed out and complete, it feels like, whereas Majestic Meteor is so badly designed, dude. Like, I just can't get over it. And then I can't remember what the other Meteor mechanic is called, where we bait by proximity. That mechanic is kind of boring. But yeah, I mean, that's again, like, I'm just going to wrap it up here by saying, like, if Majestic Meteor was a better mechanic, Tyrant would have been a much better fight. And that's what I'm going to leave it at, because that is truly how I feel. So yeah, I mean, I was kind of pleasantly surprised to see that Themis was not, but I mean, I already knew Themis wasn't that good of a fight, let's be real. But yeah, look forward to the last war, because I think the last war is a lot more interesting to dive into. So yeah, look forward to that one. That one's up next. Again, I'll be posting the progression tips after this series. Look forward to that as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and have a good one. Bye-bye.